Hey folks, walk with me. We have a nice easy one today, I think. Hopefully it's a little tool you can use if you think it might help. I first heard about this technique called the movie technique from someone who I think didn't even know it was called the movie technique. It seemed as though they didn't know that it existed and that they had come up with it themselves, which is cool. But basically, this person had posted that that they had suffered with, I think it was like ADHD and depression, anxiety, something like that. Some mix of those types of things. And that it made mindfulness very, very hard for them because of the ADHD, especially. And they said, however, I did finally start something that seems to be working. And they didn't say that it's called the movie technique, but it is called the movie technique. And the basic gist is that when you're having a hard time, or as they framed it, like when they're feeling really anxious, really scattered, really down and depressed, they essentially envision themselves as a character in a movie. And they basically go through, like, what is the storyline then for where this character goes now, right? There's always an arc in a movie, right? That's sort of the beautiful thing is, I think there's some sort of common phrase in film writing or movie making that like the dialogue scene is too long or something like that. And I think this sort of corresponds with like, you need active change in scenes, you need action sequences where it's not just ongoing dialogue like you would find in your head when you're having a hard time being mindful, right? The runaway mind, which is a never-ending, ongoing, too long dialogue sequence. And so they picture themselves in this movie and they say, okay, this is the character's set of circumstances. Based on the arc of the character in the movie, what does the character do? Right? And what's sort of like the path that they take? Not necessarily that it gives them like they don't suddenly turn into this like movie character and start acting all these things out and pretending that they're in this movie, but it gives them a sense of like, this is a point in time. I think we've talked in different contexts previously about the challenges of timelessness, a sense that whatever is happening in the moment is forever what it's going to be. Especially around something like I've ruined a relationship, right? Or I'm fighting with somebody, or I've upset somebody, something like that. And now our relationship is spoiled forever. We can never get it back. That's the idea of timelessness, that tomorrow's not a new day. And so this concept of then seeing the character go through the arc and the changes and the ways in which things, I don't even want to say improve, I will just say change. The way in which things change and progress. And again, by progress, I don't mean get better. I don't mean become more productive. I just mean they progress, they proceed. That it does help them sort of reorient themselves and see possibilities. And certainly get rid of that sense of timelessness, right? The acknowledgement that this is a period and a point in time, and even if it's going to be somewhat recurring, right? I can see something as challenging as like sort of cyclical bouts of depression or ongoing bouts of depression or anxiety or ADHD, feeling like they're never going to end. And maybe that's sort of true in the sense that they are going to come and they're going to go. But they aren't endless in the sense of that it will always be buzzing. The buzz will have moments of silence, and then the buzz will come back. And so here's maybe a technique for you to try. I think there's a level up to this technique as well that somebody in the comments then talked about, where not only can you see yourself as a character in the movie, but you can then see yourself as the person watching the character in the movie. And here's where you really get some distance, right? You get some ability to maybe gain further perspective by stepping back a little bit. You don't have your face smashed up against the movie screen, making it very hard to see. But you are sitting comfortably somewhere, a movie theater, your room, whatever it is, watching the movie. That is the character of you in the situation in which you currently find yourself struggling with. And so now you're watching a movie watcher watch that movie. And then this gives you some padding, some distance, maybe then some capacity to maneuver, right? It gives you wiggle room. And maybe it makes it feel less visceral, less like it's inside of you attacking you, right? Can be one of the benefits of getting some distance. It gives you an opportunity to say, okay, what do I actually want to do about this? Because you don't feel like you're just constantly fighting it or bathing in it or whatever. All right, folks, well, that's the movie technique. I think I maybe buried the lead a little bit there. If you did end up watching this far, you got probably the best part of the movie technique, which is you watching someone watching the movie. But I do think that there's benefits, even if you just take that first step of, okay, character in a movie, let's go with that. Start there. And maybe it's hard to do, right, all of the progression in your first 10 goes or something like that. And so maybe it's useful to sort of start somewhere and then build. So there's definitely potential for places to build in this one. But if you watched this far, or if you walked with me, I certainly appreciate it. And as always, I will see you in the next video.